Good morning. Today is March the 10th, 2025. It is 9:25 a.m. Eastern Time. For the record, this is Yahweh, Yahuwah, Joshua. So today's message is kind of right there on a wire, but I'm going to try to and a couple of brief housekeeping tips. I know I've gotten a lot of crap about only having like 5 shirts. Well, it kind of is what it is, but I did buy more. So I got this new one. I think that's pretty cool. Rainbow Dragon. Now, unfortunately, you guys have taken the rainbow and turned it into a lesbian and a gay thing, which, devil is your father. So, no surprise there. Turn me into a lollipop and, my rainbow into something that is a sin. So, such as things on earth. But I can tell you, I can promise you, I can swear to you that those things will not last, nor any people who support them. Because if you're not getting the message is clear. Assimilate with me and who I am as a God, and you'll be safe. If your beliefs, your ideals come against my beliefs and my ideals, then you will be destroyed. Earth, when we're talking about the powers, was just discussing this with Cameron this morning. Earth is caught in the middle between this epic celestial war, and you guys are busy running around, thinking like money's like a damn Pokemon, like gotta catch them all, and that is the last thing on Earth like anybody really should be caring about, but that's not where I'm going. So let me knock out addressing some congregations from Saturday. Again, I've turned my ears off to all the Jesus camps. You guys are basically being signed, sealed, and delivered to the hands of Az, and there you go. Inconsequential. You're no purpose to me. You don't even like me. So, goodbye. Alright. So this one, first off, is Jacob's tent. So great service. But building trust and securing your faith for the deliverance of an eternal spirit is 100 times more cherished and desired compared to a temple or a tent of meeting. The temple or a tent of meeting, right, at this stage in the game, it's sought for. It's nice in the terms of restoration, but again, I don't see the world's cooperation in anybody wanting true restoration. Or the people of Earth just don't think that I possess that type of power. Well, if you're a Star Wars fan and you know what the Death Star is, let's just say that who and what I am makes the Death Star look like a desk toy. So, a tent of meeting or a temple, again, will come when the whole world wakes up, but the whole world must first acknowledge their shame, know my name, and walk straight and true. And like I said, right now it's looking pretty bleak. So it looks like, for all intents and purposes, the worm moon comes up, I believe, Thursday night into Friday, which also should coincide with Peom, and then also a lunar eclipse. And thus I have attached a 6 sealed judgment, and then I will be rolling out the scrolls that very evening. But again, right now we are just about to begin the biggest destruction phase yet. So again, great service, and I'm really happy to see that we are building up some trust. Remain, keep going, try to get as many as you can to get to the truth, and keep moving forward. So this next one is for Parable of the Vineyard, directly to Linden. So any music with righteousness, praise, and is free of obscenities is fine for those who would prefer it. No frequency is demonic, but the word choice along with mesmerizing effects can have an effect upon the people. So using it as a tool for outreach into nouns is also fine. But for our Saturday services, let's use traditional style music that will engage the broader audience. And, you know, whenever it comes to things like, you know, like if you're going to go in a rap fashion or even go into like a rock fashion, like I would prefer to have the true name excluded out of that, because I don't want it to become synonymous with the types of behaviors of people in general. And right now we're not in a righteous earth state, nor are really anyone at the standard of preference. So I don't want my true name to fall to the same shame, misuse, blasphemy, and disrespect that false name Jesus has succumbed to. Because, you know, I understand the argument of, you know, it's the person's passion and creativity. That part of the coin is fine. The other part of the coin that is not fine is when, you know, my name is rolled up into something that can be, you know, essentially blasted me, you know, which is very similar to blasphemy. So music that blasts me, you know, or even puts things into, like, I don't know, use your best judgment, you know, let the Ruach guide you in all things. And like I said, you know, if it's for a particular audience for a particular purpose, I'll allow it. But I mean, on a big stage, like I said, you know, in the past, like Kendrick Lamar, you know, it's not that I approve of his music in any way. It's simply that years and years ago, I knew he was going to be elected for that Super Bowl, and I also knew that the timing would have been perfect. And the thing is, the song that he sung at Super Bowl, right, had the name in there. So that was a means to an end, and to reach an audience that otherwise would not have really been or had any exposure. Because as you know, people, like, they'll hear a song at Super Bowl and then they Google it and then they want to hear the lyric or read the lyrics, and so that's a way that, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people were able to see. And hopefully that had some hearts and minds changed. Not really. Which also just helps me progress in my own wrath further. You know, because I should have worn my new shirt that actually said, you know, I'm a perfectionist and a procrastinator, and one day I'll be perfect. But not today. Because the world is imperfect. And it is written, if we treat cruelty nice, then we will treat nice cruel. And also, you know, if we do not let cruelty know it's cruel, or darkness know it's dark, then it doesn't have any natural goodness in it to cease its own actions. So, next up, Beth Elohim, great study, service. You know, this one's a weird one, because, you know, the way I see it is, you know, Cohen at Beth Elohim, you know, you're walking in the righteous path, you know, you're trying to bring others along with you. And I don't know, I'm trying to put this in a very diplomatic way. You as an individual are doing well. You as the set-apart congregation are doing well in your teachings. You're doing well in your learnings. There are other tribes of primarily, you know, labeled as black Israelites. There is like 30 to 40% who are okay, right? They're in the 80% green or yellow. Then there are some that are completely off the charts into the zone of synagogue of Satan. And they, again, are all carnal, all flesh. I mean, we're talking, they're trying to apply their bad behavior, their lust for money, their lust for women, their disobedience to true covenant, and instead of being a light-footed, righteous, man or woman, they are vipers that are literally spewing desires of the heart and pursuance of the flesh. And it has stoked my wrath to a point of elimination. Before I start taking out those congregations en masse, I will give you, Cohen, an opportunity to root them out. I'm sure you can get in contact with them. Try to offer them, an olive branch into learning the truth and to getting off the haughtiness and getting off of all this, this flesh, and especially this anti-Semitism, right? It doesn't work anyway. It doesn't work if you're white calling out blacks or if you're black calling out whites. It doesn't matter, right? All these things are in a spiritual nature, right? And they go by the characteristics, and all these negative characteristics, right? Here's a good example. One of these congregations was talking about how the black race is the kings and queens of the earth, and that somehow, right, their characterization of putting diamonds in their teeth and wearing 10-pound gold chains, like that this is somehow a pious behavior. No, this is insanity. Cohen, I will put it in your hands to try to do something with it. Let them know that the Lord Elohim, Yahweh, YAHUWAH, the real, one true God, is not pleased. Not pleased. Because I do not want people with using my true name and trying to pray to me when they have such a disdain for the true me, apparently, but also they are leading others astray. And I've already found one of the first synagogues of Satan, and they also had to split. One side of that course took the truth, which was me, and they marched on, and they're doing well. The other half stayed behind, right? They're worshiping Dr. Kinley. They are also on death's list by name. Saith I, the Lord Yahweh, YAHUWAH, I condemn thee, and I bring forth judgments against thee on my behalf. I am over it, and I am over the impious behavior. So again, Cohen, as one of my lead priests who are closer to the matter than I leave it with you to see if you can sort those houses on my behalf. And if you cannot, and again, I won't help them. So, next up on my list, Torah Observant Israel, Rabbi Steve, great teaching. All around, I do appreciate your teachings. I love the authenticity that you bring, and I love that you can teach by telling the story. Your tiebacks are wonderful. The engagement with your audience is wonderful. I love the feedback that you are getting from the flocks, and I do like that we have implemented that meal. I know you've had that before, so definitely not, pulling credit away and re-giving it, just more credit. So thank you for doing that. A+. And then again, another highlight here is Mark and Polly at Living Messiah. You guys, truly songs that resonate within me, is just absolutely awesome. And I must confess, I do have an affinity for older styled music, or purely custom music, as that sentiment means a lot. Just the intent of creating for me is a cherished thing I value, and I keep such things as personally sacred. And plus, the folk type of music draws a tear of joy to my eye, because sometimes it is just so beautifully not only sung, but the energy that you guys are putting into it is felt. Is absolutely beautiful. So you hit the nail on the head, as they say. So amazing job. And just so everyone knows, all the congregations that I'm speaking of, I am working my ruach through people all through these congregations for the effort, obviously, of the First Commission, but also the preparation of the true remnant before the destruction of nations. And again, that system is once it kicks off, it is just gonna progressively continue in rapid fashion. Excuse me, because the thing is, you know, we've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, and yet we still have a bunch of fantastical Christians that are going to die. There are wicked and evil religious people that are going to die. On top of that, I think that if somebody with the genuineness of their heart pursued religion, right, out of the goodness of their heart, and they were led astray and decepted, right, by just the powers that be, then I think they are owed an opportunity. These are the opportunities that come from being in covenant with me, Yahweh, Yahuwah, and understanding that as the Lord of the earth and the God over creation and the King in heaven, as well as being king down here, just treated like shit by the people of earth. So it's okay, right? Because as I am treated, so how I will treat you. And that's something the earth people are not really keen upon, because most people are entirely okay with being shitheads and they can do whatever they want and they don't have retribution. Well, my anger is going to burn against you. You are a smoke in my nostril. You are a pit in my fruit. And so I will spew thee from my mouth into a great lake of fire. Truly, I tell you, I swear it upon my name, Yahweh, Yahuwah. But the point is, all these congregations that I am putting my Ruach into directly for a purpose, a greater purpose of trying to outreach to these impious Christian churches or these devilish Jewish churches, or even the synagogue of Satan who worship Dr. Kenley. Remember, they are on death's list, and I have ejected myself from them, and I will no longer hear their prayers, their pleas, their requests. Instead, I'm replacing all of that with plague after plague, judgment after judgment, vial after vial, bowl after bowl, and my heart thunders every time, and it is just getting worse. So, I'm going to take a quick 5, try to bring the level down, because I don't want this to turn into a rage video. I would rather it be more constructive. So I will be back momentarily. Alright, I'm back. So, and just another quick note before I progress down my agenda today. The Ruach HaKodesh is a tool to be used to expand my kingdom. If the Ruach HaKodesh is being used to glorify a personal church or to glorify a particular congregation other than the one true congregation under me, under God, Yahweh, Yahuwah, then it is being abused, and I will revoke the Ruach HaKodesh for any and all those who are not using it for the purpose of my kingdom, and all those that are using the adversaries' Ruach HaKodesh to progress their money maps, their agendas, their big impious churches, their fat congregations filled with swine, those with a fake name in their mouth, those that are man-worshipping, those that think that being saved is a magical thing. No, it's a very literal thing. And if we were looking at this as the way it should be, as if I am the bride or groom, however which way you put it, but the point is, if who I am marrying as my church doesn't like me, then I am not marrying you. I will eliminate you. we'll discuss that deeper later. Going through my recognition list here, Jason Boss, I want to give you a big pat on the back, because it's truly the work of a saint that these once lost sheep are being found, connected, and given the word. To those who don't know Jason, he's creating a True Name Bible for me on the commission I gave him. Once I get a copy to review, its purpose is to be the standard in the true church. So support Jason if you can in his mission. He's also doing prison ministry along with Cohen, YAHWEH Elohim, not together, but their purpose is very similar in that. So a big pat on the back, Jason. Great job. I'm very proud of you. Keep going. And I know I haven't really given you any praises. Honestly, you've been great, and in this process, your name will get brought up even more. So draw near to the Ruach. Know I am He, and know that your purpose and your mission that was put in your heart was through me, by me. So good job on that. I feel like I've missed stuff here. But quick parable before I move to the next one. So if we are looking at the Ruach, right? If I'm the father, well, I am the father, but I'm saying, let's say I'm just a regular father with a tool shed. The Ruach is like my tool shed. And a son comes and says, hey, Father, I want to borrow your miter saw because I'm going to go cut this board that's going to go on the side of your church. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's the key to the shed. Be careful, and you know what? You can use any tool in my shed you want if you're building the kingdom. That's like asking me and the authority for the Ruach HaKodesh. If a son comes up and tries to shake that door and it's locked, and I go up and say, what are you trying to do? And the son wants to use a miter saw for his own house down the road. Well, Father, I just want to do it because I want to build my own house. Father, I want to go and let the miter saw be used by all these people down the road. No. My miter saw is not for public use like that. It is for the building of my kingdom, and I give it to those who are going to work for me in the kingdom. If you are not working for me in the kingdom, then I will remove the Ruach HaKodesh. So, up to this point, I have been pretty liberal in giving the Ruach out to people and to seeing what has been done with it. And for the most people that had the fake name in their mouth, continue on with the fake name, and thus you will perish. You will be handled very harshly. And again, you're going to be made examples for those that are in covenant with me, those that know my name, those that are working on understanding my character, my purpose, my pattern, my plan, and they also know my truth and my realness. So for all those other churches out there, you better be praying to hope a saint can come and teach you the right ways, and you better pray that you can remove the ignorance, the stupidity, and just all of the qualities that I deem unacceptable. And it is coming down to crunch time. United Kingdom, we're going to start here. UK, my heart hurts for that young lady who got robbed of her father being able to walk her down the aisle. Now, because she's a commoner, it doesn't get a whole lot of attention, just like the Bibas family. But I tell you what, if a stabbing were to occur all through Parliament, or all through your little pretend kingdom there, where you guys are all playing house, I bet you'd be headlines then, wouldn't it? So United Kingdom, you and all your little European pals have just added yourselves on my terrorist list. And you know what? You guys are looked at even more than the others because you have the means, you have the civility to be able to take action of these things. Openly declare war on Islamic jihadist terrorism. That is the seed of the devil. That are the sons of Amalek. And all those who try to follow suit, again, whether you're cartels, whether you're impious governments, I don't care. You are now added to my list. You better put into the first place, top priority, getting terrorists eliminated. Eliminated. It gets me beyond wrathful to have to see one of mine who were on the green path to only be derailed off that green path by a demon, and then for mankind, countries, and people to not even care. Because if you cared, you would be eliminating these terrorists. You would have your population accounted for. If you have strange people among you that possess the demon seed, you need to know your righteousness so well that you can get them before they strike. Because if I have to strike them, my hand is much larger than you. And at least if I have to take out an entire populated zone, I can assure that all the righteous in that area will ascend up through my hand up to the heavens. But then that takes away hundreds, if not thousands, of purposes that those individuals could be serving for me. So by me delaying time and delaying destruction as I have, trying to give the world time and to see it is barely even making an inch. I did say I took Guatemala off because they're openly wanting to work with Israel. Argentina is also now off the list. They have openly want to, join Israel in truth and oneness, and they are also taking it upon themselves, which I appreciate, to have a day of mourning for the Bibas family, and that is one example of many. The stabbing, the United Kingdom, and you know what? Your little playhouse kingdom is an abomination to me. It's a mockery of government, and you are facing a direct war with evil, and if swift, decisive action is not taken, I will. Saith I, Yahweh, YAHUWAH, the Elohim of creation. You play house with no goods, nor do you pursue truth or me. I shall add you again to total destruction in this coming season. Time is nearly up, and the needle is yet to move on my scale. So this tells me that those not in covenant are marked for death and destruction by choice. Because at the end of all this, whether I stand at a palace worthy of my presence here on earth in front of a remnant who will be saved, or whether I destroy the entire planet and ascend those who are going to be with me, and they will stand in front of my existing palace in heaven. But one way or the other, order will be reestablished into this earth as it is in the realms. And understand something. The planet Earth in your universe is like sitting on a shelf. There's a shelf above you and a shelf below you. There's actually lots of shelves above you and several shelves below you. Outside of your dimension that is empty on purpose, there is lots of things going on. And when you step out of this empty dimension that just has you in it because you are a quarantine, your human population is not only an abomination to the beings, the celestial beings that exist, that I am the king of and over. So again, Earth as a population, as a people, you guys are worse than sick dogs. And the few have acknowledged their shame, their sickness, have gotten truth, gotten secure with me, and they are doing the things that I have purposed them to do, and thus they will be saved. those individuals that, you know, they work against my agenda, they work against my truth, and they want to still make cute little videos. They want to still think that because they wear suits and they, you know, they went to some Bible school that somehow makes them a notch above. No, that actually puts about 10,000 more pounds on their shoulder, but yet their knees are so weak they buckle. They're useless. Now, we got roughly 4-ish days, and some, again, I'm quite pleased with. Others, you're inconsequential now, and you'll even be even more when I'm done, because you're useless to me. That's what I mean. You're useless to me, and you know, I can only even withstand these people, some people that they want to make their own videos or even talk to others and tell them about being reborn, and then about how Jesus is going to come down from the clouds, and then he's going to rule with the rod of iron, and all this is going to happen in one day. It's just going to happen in one day. Like, it's going to blow the panties off of some preachers. You might as well go ahead and grab a shovel, go to your backyard, dig you a hole, jump in it. Because I am releasing millions of angels into the earth, and they are all carrying swords and trumpets. Section by section, people by people, you will fall. It will not be glorious. It will not even be known. It will not be like the saints of old. You will not be persecuted for my name by a spear or a rod. Instead, you will be in congregations of thousands, and I will collapse the roof on you. You will be in mass gathering for fake names, and fires will run right through you, and not the fire of the HaKodesh, but the fires, the real fires that chew through everything and anybody. The waters I will pour out, and I will drown you. Every means of which is an element or is upon this earth, I will use to eliminate all those who are not going to assemble under the one true God, under the house of Yahweh, YAHUWAH. That is it, period, point blank. And earth may not like this, but the fact of the matter is, if humans wanted sovereignty so bad, and if you wanted to elevate yourself to a higher being and thus be given your own planet to then procreate on, right, and then establish righteousness throughout the earth, where money is never the ending factor in anything. It's not even the first or the 20th factor, where upholding your righteousness, holiness, and piety is the law of the land. And as long as that is being done in all ways, that person shall not suffer, that person shall not want or need. But again, mankind wants to walk their own path, sing their own song, worship their own names. They want to feel all cute and fuzzy sitting in their fake palaces like King Charles and his little fluff toy Camilla, right? Again, this is all, you guys are all imitating me, the real king, the real royal bloodline, the one who actually has power. Not power in government, not power that man gives me, not power through a vote. I am Almighty God. If I say someone's name and I assign a death warrant to it, my creation and my angels will respond, and it will immediately begin seeking the closest door out for that individual or individuals. And likewise, if I have blessed those as I have myself, my family, my churches, my true congregation, my true priests, they are, lack of a better term, they're invincible. Not invincible from the mockery of the world, not invincible from the insults of the world, unfortunately, but believe it, I will tie tongues, I will remove tongues, I will remove every and anything I can to make my point. Now, I think I made myself quite clear when I mentioned the demon rats and also the rats in the maze and also the failing heart. So if you had eyes to see and ears to hear, that was also for a point and a purpose. Only I, God, would have known what happened to Hackman and his wife and the dog. And I proved that, and only in a way that it could not have been seen until after the fact. That's truth. And that happens all the time. I let people in on it simply so they can have, again, a confirmation of faith. For I am Almighty Yahweh. I run life and death as a politician would pass a bill in Congress. I deal in souls. I deal in the creation of planets. I am assigned the angels in heaven. I am the God of gods in creation and above. So, trying to do anything in this phase without me involved is an extremely foolish thing to do. Because remember, the entire 7,000 year drama that we've played out, I don't give a shit what's been written because it's my book. I, again, will fulfill what I will fulfill, and I will deem what I see as fit. You want to know why? Because I'm not working through prophets now in the end of days. I am here as myself because only I can judge these situations as they come and as I see them. That's why. And I don't like what I see most of the time. You know, and this probably is irrelevant, and this is a little bit off topic, but I must say this as well. Me and Ashra's one of our favorite places to order food and just have a quiet night at home with each other. You know, especially when the children are at their grandparents', you know, for the weekend, and me and the wife are just going to settle down together, have a quiet evening in. We like Olive Garden. You know, Olive Garden, you know, I was very, very displeased when you took my favorite dish on the classics menu and you changed it. The chicken marsala used to be the chicken breast that you had with the chicken parm. Then you made it into chicken fingers. Then you took away the pasta option and put in mashed potatoes. And then instead of having just regular chicken marsala with mushrooms, then you decided to stuff it with all kinds of crap. If you want to keep my business and my blessings, and you know what, I did bless Olive Garden. You guys have been so freaking busy, you're having to order twice a week now. If you want that to continue, get my meal back on that, like ASAP, before I order again. Chicken marsala, no fanciness, the regular 2 chicken breasts with an angel hair pasta. That's it. Like, let's leave a good thing alone, please. Moving on. Alright. So we know again the moon, but we also now have our official list of all the nations and all the countries in the world. And I mean, right now I think we're at 62% approval rate. So the rest I'll be pushing through council this week. The only reason I haven't is strictly because of time. So yeah, I mean we're gonna be rocking and rolling, and I mean I'm not gonna go into super details on the actual destruction side of things, but I mean, my warning comes even harder than before. My, want to also, again, though, say, it's a war that I've already won. It literally right now is how many pawns are going to be lost, and in how many moves is my opponent going to be taken out completely. Israel, you need to keep Gaza, and you need to continue on eliminating Hamas. Period. If someone waves a Hamas flag or a bandana, they're considered a terrorist of humanity on planet Earth. If I was Darth Vader, they are the rebellion. And we are going to destroy the rebellion. The Galactic Order must have law and order for all of its citizens, for the sovereignty of not only creation, but for the stability of the realms, and that is true. Yes, I am Yahweh, Yahuwah. I am the progenitor of all things, but you must understand there are billions of years. There are trillions of years. Billions in this section and trillions in others. And there are universal laws at play here. And that's what I mean. Is I am here myself as the God of this creation, and I'm trying to secure those that will assimilate to me, know me as a person, but also as your God, know that I dwell among you, and know that outside of this place there is so much more, in fact, that if you were an ant living in an anthill in the middle of the desert, 1,000 miles away from the next anthill, you would only be in my back garden. That's how big we're talking. So me being here, giving special attention to these matters and ensuring that I can handpick and save individuals that not only are worthy, not only do they deserve it, but they can get along with me. That's what it comes down to. Can you get along with me enough that when I do take you upstairs, if I give you a purpose, can I trust you to fulfill that purpose? Because understand, all my angels, my personal heavenly hosts, the angels and luminaries, are created with purpose first. And their purpose is serving me and loving me, their creator, their master, their Elohim, their God, Yahweh, Yahuwah, YAHWEH. So, the difference between them and humanity is humanity, right, being defiled, being created essentially without a purpose, being created so you can essentially find your purpose, but your purpose seems to always be greed, money, violence, erecting stupid things, like literally we're on the bottom of the bell curve. This is what I mean. Like me and Asher were just talking about stoves yesterday, and I was just like, why is everything built so terrible? Right? It's because humanity, more money. More money to what? To buy more stupid jerseys? To what? Put diamonds in your braces? Like, I'm going to, with my Ruach, I'm going to smack the shit out of whoever said that. I heard that yesterday. I was working out in the yard this weekend. And a lot of times I'll work out in the yard and I will just kind of open the prayer lines up freestyle. And to me, I'm hearing a lot of this, a lot of that, and then I have this big old tube. It feels like this big old tube of all the Jesus people, right? Money, cars, jobs, like that's their deal. And they don't have the true name. And they're telling Jesus, basically save me from the big scary man. Jesus, confirm in my heart that I'm once saved, always saved. Jesus, confirm in my heart that the fornication isn't actually being weighed. All this stupid shit. Yes, it is being weighed, because I do not accept the fake name. I don't care if you were in church since the day you were born and you've had 25 baptisms. If you know about me and you reject my name and you reject the Ruach HaKodesh that is delivering you a physical spirit, then you are not saved. Point blank. Point blank. I'll tell you why. Imagine a giant field. A giant field. And I'm going around with a big bag. And in my bag there are colored tags. I have green, yellow, red, and blue. I'm going around and I look at this plant and I go, okay. Well, I can't even see the plant, but let's say I'm, checking the plant. I'm like, okay. Oh, they got the name. They know me. When they're singing, about the one true God. Okay. They understand that I am, in this time, I am where the buck stops. Because we're at a crossroads right now. So this is not time for, let's have this man worship in place. Let's have this palace in place. Let's have this principality. No. I'm tagging my plants. I'm tagging each crop with green. Tells my angels, okay, take their soul upstairs when they go to sleep. Swap it out for a spirit. Once I give you that spirit, you're no longer under a free will. You are then under me and the kingdom of heaven. Thus, you are then given a purpose. And that purpose is very similar to a lot of those that I've mentioned. So it would be written in your heart and on your mind. And instead of trying to please your own ears and please your own flesh and please your own whatever, your focus then is pleasing the Almighty Creator, and thus knowing that every time you do, it's going to get better and better for you every single time. So the tags that are yellow, right? It's like caution. Somebody's told them, they've rejected, or they've accepted, and they think that they're somehow going to get through the narrows when they're praying to Jesus and then Yahuwah, and then they're praying to Yahweh, and then they're praying to Jehovah. Nope, you're yellow, and guess what? Yellow falls on the side of red. So if myself or one of my angels or one of my earth angels or my saints can't get to a yellow in time, and a tornado comes and rips your church up, too bad. Oh well, you're gone. Time's up. So you're not going to be dying in some romantic, poetic fashion that is going to be written throughout the ages, and that so poetically he was crucified upside down and everyone knows about it. No, not at all. Church building's going to collapse on you, and that's going to be it. They'll pull your bodies out. It'll be on CNN for all of 20 minutes, and then guess what? Then they'll pan the camera to the next one, and 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 the next one. And the rhythm will get so fast that the news media won't even be able to keep up. They'll have to just start listing shit out by the day. And guess what? All your names ain't going to matter. None of your mansions are going to matter. None of your churches are going to matter. Your big money ain't gonna matter, because I'll burn everything to the ground. Your money systems, I'll put under the ground. Your countries, I will bury beneath thousands of miles of ocean. Your towers, I will topple. That's a fact, Jack. I'm taking 5. Alright, and I'm back. So, again, in summary, just to reestablish that time is ticking, and that if there is no active outreach in a ministry on my behalf, then you are no ministry, you are not a part of my church, and thus you are on this side of death and destruction. So fair warning. And like, there you go. Like, that's it. You know, because I'm quite literally dumbfounded with the impiousness of humanity, even when it comes to things, you know, like Revelation, that are allegory. A lot of allegory and a lot of, you know, it's fantastical because it is an ancient person interpreting things that were shown. But as everyone who's been following me knows the truth, I only reveal half to you. I reveal the other half through my action. Thus is what proves I am not interpreting prophecy. I am the maker of it. I am not a reader of the Bible. I am the one who writes it. I am not he who interprets the word of God. I am God who gives the word. And again, I am not an idol. I'm not a Roman god, right? I'm not any of the things that humanity says I am. What's the proof? I could walk up to any number of someone who has Jesus on their shirt and they'd look at me dumb. And if I proved them correction, they would rather smack me. Again, just like when the Spirit was on the scene in ancient Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, even walking up at that time. See, that's the thing, right? The Spirit was with my people, the only people really for me back then. And they rejected, they mocked, scoffed, scorned, and then crucified. And now I'm with the Gentiles, those of you who were supposed to know the true name. You were supposed to know true Bible prophecy. You were supposed to have discernment. You were supposed to have truth. You were supposed to have piety. You were supposed to have righteousness. You were supposed to have the Americas set apart for me and for you. You were supposed to know my character so well that the biggest fear would have been others who would have had equal character but no power to display and no control over creation, that the false messiahs should have been a problem. No, the problem is man worship. You like your eyes pleased, your ears itched. You like it when your head is pat. I can barely say that I am comfortable patting any heads other than those in which I have spoken of. And there's a lot that have, right? We've talked about the platform. There's many congregations, people, places, and things that started off with me and then at some point they jumped off. They said, yeah, I'm not really happy with what God said. I'm going to change my idea of God. Yeah, I'm not really happy with what this is being said. I'm going to go back to worshiping idols. I felt better about myself. Okay, well, as you should know, as an adult, you should know that how you feel about something doesn't change it. What you think about me doesn't change me. What you think you know about the realms and what you think you can interpret through biblical prophecy. If I'm telling you you're wrong, you're wrong. Why? Because I am he who put the wings on the bird. I am he who put the tail on the fish. I am he who put the creepy crawly thing in the earth. I am he who grows the flora and the fauna. I am life and I am death. So that brings me to our next and third chapter of this. There's been some talks and things surrounding Sophia, Gnosticism, things like that. So my words on Gnosticism really are that if someone is, a spirit and they've fallen and they've, succumbed to sin, mainly a lot of you spirits are mystics and stuff, like think about like Merlins, right? Like your spirits, most, if not all, right? Other than myself and the heavenly host and my direct family, we're not fallen, but a lot of spirits that are in the world today are and have been fallen. Why are they reborn now? Because this is the final end. This is the judgment time. So basically these people, they have the spirit, but they're not connected. So basically what it is they're kind of magical. They have kind of different ideas and different perceptions about the realms and me and how all this fits together. So a lot of times the Gnostics, they knew kind of who they were, right, to an extent. But anyway, they were walking a path essentially kind of like a Cohen would, where they're going to walk out righteousness, they're going to walk out their purification, and they're essentially going to, you know, shed all the impurity so they can regain their title, regain their proper place in the heavens. And that's a different path than a regular human being, which is why they look different. But we're going to address a poem that actually was written to myself, and it actually describes myself, right? And this is it's called Thunder Perfect Mind. It's very ancient. Again, it's written about me. And if you think of it in the context that it describes what I'm doing right now on earth, and it also describes the emotional kind of roller coaster that I'm on, because again, I am not a woman in flesh nor in spirit, but in the feeling of things, right? It definitely, and again, these are spiritual things. So if you're a soul, or you're a regular churchgoer, or even a regular teacher or pastor, you're welcome to turn the video off at this point, because the topic I'm going to be discussing from here on is going to be a spirit teaching. It is going to be for those that already have been touched by the Ruach, baptized by my fire, and they should know this, and it should just be another dot or another seed on the plate of truth, of things that I have worked from the very beginning, you know, of this chapter. So we're going to play a little bit of the Thunder Perfect Mind, and then I will give some commentary on it. I don't know if it's too loud or not loud enough, but
Thunder, perfect mind. I was sent from the power and have come to those who contemplate me, and am found among those who seek me. Look at me, you who contemplate me. And you who hear, listen to me. You are waiting me, take me to yourselves. Do not banish me from before your eyes. Do not let your voice be hateful toward me, nor your hearing. Do not be ignorant of me. In any place, at any time, be alert. Do not be ignorant of me, for I am the first and the last. I am the honored and the scorned.
So there's a couple bits. Again, if you know the word, you know Revelation, there's several tie-ins to both. This is older than Revelation. So again, you know, this is where some situations in biblical prophecy are understanding me, the divine spirit, right? The divine manifestation of God himself as I am me. I am the beginning, right, and the end. I am the first and the last. You know, but anyway, if you think of it in characteristics, right, of who I am, this is essentially an opportunity that you, as a receiver of this information, should be able to kind of conclude this picture in your mind, right? And again, there's a lot of different keys that are found within this. So we'll keep listening. It's only 13 minutes long, so it's not too long. We'll continue.
I am the whole and the holy. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the mother and the daughter. I am the lips of my mother. I am a barren woman who has many children. I have had many weddings and have taken no husband. I am a midwife and a woman who does not give birth. I am the solace of my own birth pains. I am bride and groom, and my husband produced me. I am the mother of my father and the sister of my husband, and he is my offspring. I am the servant of him who fashioned me. I am the ruler of my offspring. He produced me with a premature birth, and he is my offspring born on time. happens to me. I am silence that is incomprehensible and insight whose memory is great. I am the voice whose sounds are many in the word whose appearances are many. I am the utterance of my own name. You who hate me, why do you love me and hate those who love me? You who deny me, confess me. And you who confess me, deny me. You who tell the truth about me, tell lies about me. And you who have lied about me, tell the truth about me.
So, I mean, again, this is going on with the same saga that we've been going down for the last, 30 months. You who, say you know me, but you don't know me. You proclaim me, but yet you deny me. And again, this all goes back to, right, the false name. And this is all throughout Scripture, right? This is all littered throughout literature everywhere. And again, people that even now, which I'm seeing, and honestly, you guys are just as distasteful to me as any, right? Where you're like, Yeshua, Jesus. No, don't call me Jesus. I'm not Jesus. Jesus is an idol. Jesus means nothing to me. That is Rome. If you want to go under Rome's skirt when I burn it down, then you can. But I am not Jesus, and I don't give a shit who you're trying to please, what congregation you don't want to upset. This is the difference between making it into heaven, making it to hell, or dying inconsequentially on earth. That's the three options you have right now. And the remnant will go where I say to go. The remnant will do what I say to do. Why? Because I mean more to them than anything. Because they are the ones that if they lose their life for my sake, they will instantly get it anyway. Not those who want to say Jesus. Not those who want to talk about, fantasy land. So anyway, we'll continue. But these are all clues that paint me exactly, how I am, but again, in a carnal way, right? What things are like for me when I am on earth.
You who know me, be ignorant of me. And as for those who have not known me, let them know me. For I am knowledge and ignorance. I am shy and bold. I am shameless. I am ashamed. I am tough and I am terror. I am war and peace. Be attentive to me. I am disgraced and great. Be attentive to my poverty and my wealth. Do not be arrogant toward me when I am thrown down on the ground. And you will find me in those who are to come. If you see me on the dung heap, don't go and leave me thrown there. You will find me in the kingdoms. If you see me when I am thrown out with the disgraced in the most sordid places, don't mock me. Don't throw me down violently with those in need. I am compassionate and I am cruel. Take care not to hate my obedience, but love my self-control. In my weakness do not disregard me, and do not fear my power. For why do you despise my terror and denounce my pride? I am present in all fears, and I am strength in agitation. I am a weak woman, and I am well in a pleasant locale. I am foolish and I am wise. Why have you hated me in your counsels? Because I shall be silent among the silent, and I shall appear and speak. Why have you hated me, you Greeks? Because I am a barbarian among barbarians.
So why have you hated me, you Greeks? If the Greeks and the Romans did not get their filthy claws on my truth, my name, my actual doctrine, then you would not have the abomination called the New Testament that it stands today. Because the words in the New Testament are less than 2% of things that were actually said or events that actually happened. So the New Testament is not even considered canon, nor is it considered doctrine by me. And I'm the only one that matters. Thus, you must understand these things. Because I am the barbarian among barbarians. Because, you guys in the Greek, right? You guys screwed up the name. So your councils, why have you hated me in your councils? You know, and again, all these things truly, like when you put it in the cult and when you put all the evidence, I guess is what I'm saying, on the table, it's unmistakable. So it really does come down to impious humans, you know, do you want the flesh? Do you want fleshly desires more than the spiritual ones? Do you crave death more than life, or life more than death? Like, that's the choices you guys got to make, because life is through me. Death is also through me. But basically, you get to decide what side of that coin you're going to get.
I am the wisdom of the Greeks and the knowledge of the barbarians. I am the judgment of Greeks and barbarians. I am the one whose image is great in Egypt and who has no image among the barbarians. I have been hated everywhere and loved everywhere. I am the one called life, and you have called me death. I am the one called law, and you have called me lawless.
So I am the one you call law, but you have called me lawless. Thus again, I am the one who sets down the foundations of the world and have provided the 10 commandments to humanity. But yet humanity says in the same cheeky tongue that they're not held to the law. And again, if you're not using the New Testament as simply accounts of, really you could call them mythical accounts of God's second coming. And again, they're still very, very much wrong in so many ways. But, and again, my image my image is great in Egypt, but remember, that's Shasu. So that's a time before, right, the Pharaoh. So, continuing.
One you pursued, and I am one you seized. I am one you have scattered, and you have gathered me together. I am one before whom you have been ashamed, and you have been shameless to me. I am a woman who does not celebrate festivals, and I am she whose festivals are many.
So a couple of ones there. I am the one who does not celebrate festivals right now because they are not pleasing to me. We're still doing them without me. We're still doing them defiled, right? But I have many festivals in my honor. So that's true. I am, right, the scattering. So the scattered sheep of Israel, right? But I am also he, or in this case, right, it's writing it through the divine feminine side. So, as like the mother over her children, right? Or the father over the children, right? You're scattered. I am the one bringing you back together.
I am godless, and I have many gods.
So I am godless, and I have many gods. So I've created many gods, but I myself have no God, right? As I am Elohim. That's what that means.
I am one you have professed, and you have scorned me. I am uneducated, and people learn from me. I am one you have despised, and you profess me.
I am the one who you all despise, but yet at the same time you profess me. So whose problem is that? If you do not know your spiritual marriage to a point that you would be comfortable in that marriage, then you need to work on learning more about that spirit in which you're marrying, right? And the marriage being that covenant and that place in the realms, that place in heaven, that eternal life, but also while we're here on earth, working for me, working for the kingdom.
I'm one from whom you have hidden, and you appear to me. Whenever you hide, I shall appear. For whenever you appear, I shall hide from you. As for those who have, foolishly, take me away from their understanding, from grief, and receive me from understanding and grief. Receive me from low places in creation, and take from the good, even if in a lowly way. From shame, take me to yourselves shamelessly. From shamelessness and shame, put my members to shame within you. Draw near to me, you who know me and you who know my members, and establish the great among the insignificant first creatures. Draw near to childhood, and do not despise it because it is small and insignificant. Do not make what is great turn away, part by part, from what is small. For what is small is known from what is great. Why do you curse me and honor me? You have smitten and you have shown mercy. Do not separate me from the first ones, whom you have known. Do not cast anyone out, nor turn anyone away. Turn yourselves. Do not know what is mine. I know the first ones, and those after them know me. I am perfect mind, and rest. I am the knowledge of my search, the discovery of those who seek me, the command of those who ask of me, the power of powers through my knowledge, of angelic ambassadors through my word, of gods among gods through my counsel, of spirits of all people dwelling with me, of women dwelling within me. I am honored and praised, and scornfully despised. I am peace, and war has come because of me. I am alien and citizen. I am substance, and a woman without substance. Those from union with me are ignorant of me, and those sharing in my being know me. Those near me have been ignorant of me, and those far from me have known me. On the day I am near you, you are far from me, and on the day I am far from you, I am near you. I am a lamp of the heart. I am of natures. I am of the creation of spirits, and the request of souls. I am restraint and lack of restraint. I am unity and dissolution. I abide and dissolve. I am descent, and people ascend to me. I am judgment and pardon. I am sinless, and the root of sin comes from me. I am desire outwardly, and within me is self-control. I am hearing adequate for everyone and speaking that cannot be repressed. I cannot talk or speak, and plentiful are my words. Hear me in gentleness, and learn from me in roughness. I am the woman crying out, and I am cast upon the face of the earth. I prepare bread, and my mind within. I am the knowledge of my name. I cry out and I listen. I appear walk. Seal sign of refutation. I am the judge. I am the defense. I am the one called justice. But violence is my name. You honor me. You overcome. And you whisper against me. You who are overcome. Judge before you are judged. Because in you are judge and partiality. If you are condemned by it, who will pardon you? Or if you are pardoned by it, who can detain you? For what is within you is outside you, and the one who fashions you on the outside has formed you within. What you see outside you, you see within you. It is visible, and it is your garment. Hear me, you listeners, and learn my words, you who know me. I am here and adequate for everything. I am speaking that cannot be repressed. I am the name of the voice, and the voice of the name. I am the sign of the letter, and the indication of division. I light and shadow. Hear me, you listeners. Take me to yourselves. As the Lord, the great power, lives, the one who stands will not change the name. It is the one who stands who created me. I shall utter his name. Look at the words of this one, and all the texts that have been written. Pay attention, you listeners, and you also, you angels, and you who have been sent, and you you spirits who have risen from the dead. I alone exist, and I have no one to judge me. For there are many sorts of seductive sins and deeds without restraint and disgraceful desires, and fleeting pleasures that people embrace, until they become sober and rise up to their place of rest. They will find me there, and they will live and not die again.
So that was Thunder Perfect Mind. I didn't want to keep stopping it, so it sounds all chopped up. But the point being is that let's see. Point is, it should be, more. Adding stuff to the character pool. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going here. I don't write that one either. There we go. But the point is, there's evidences everywhere. And I know I hear the sob stories, the boo-hoo, once saved, always saved. And that's another thing, right? These impious Christians, like, they grab their Bible with authority and then they shout one line, or Paul said this, or John said that, or Mark said this, or Luke said that. Guys, I don't give a rat's ass who said anything. I'm God Almighty. If I say something and it goes against what somebody else has said, written or not, I am the one you should go with, not the other. Because, again, it's the opinion of the New Testament. It is not even truth. It is literally, it's stories. Like, it's all it is. It's stories, and it's mostly untrue. And yet you're nailing your eternal life to a piece of cardboard. It's not going to hold up. It's not real. It's not truth. If you want reality and you want truth, it's sitting right here. I'll give it to you. And I don't ask much. Obey the 10 Commandments. Get into covenant with me. If you're a preacher, a teacher, or a pastor, then you need to be teaching correctly, following me. It's not following Pastor so-and-so, right? It isn't people following Grace Church or this church or that church or whatever. People are in love and infatuated with their church, the body of the church, the people in the church, the man worship, the reverend. You understand that everybody I see in comments that tell me, or in prayers or in thought or in heart, that these people are like, oh, pastor, or oh, rabbi, you should be this, you should be that. Like, you guys really want men to worship that bad? I'm going to kill you. I'm going to send forth judgments, and the elements will take you. They will remove your life essence. That is what's going to happen to you. Stupidity is something that angers me beyond belief. Ignorance, stupidity, man worship, this baby way of thinking for grown people. It will end. And all those that are going to be moving forward with me, you're going to be very happy you did. And all those that won't, likewise, we're going to be very happy they didn't, because it's not something that we can move forward with. But I think that is going to round out today. And then tomorrow, again, I'll do a message. So I hope everyone's well. And like I said, I haven't even seen any videos of anybody putting forth any reason or something that they want to even be a part of the 70 delegates. So you know what? I'll just start chopping away reality until we get to a point that nothing's even worth it. And again, if if the wedding chamber, if the people that I'm supposed to be in matrimony with through, my spirit and New Earth and all that, like, I can put the kibosh on everything and just go ahead and start signing death warrants as a mass and treat the planet like a grape. I'll just crush it. And then I'll return home and I'll just forget all about this. I'll forget everything. I won't remember Earth. I won't remember the people on Earth. And even whenever I ascend a select few upstairs, they'll branch off into the realms and they'll take up under, one of my angels, and then they'll do their thing. But that's what I mean. Like, just like you have the freedom to go eat the breakfast of your choice, I have the freedom to do whatever I want to do, however I want to see fit. And right now, I am your last hope. So if you were to look at this like almost like a Star Wars type of thing, it's a popular movie. And one, me and the missus, we've been watching together as a couple, right? It's just a nice franchise to kind of dig in and watch. But there is some very honest truths in there too. My personal presence here is actually a huge deal upstairs. Such a big deal that there are people upstairs that are watching this situation so closely, because if I come back to the council and I say, you know what, I'm just done. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the aggravation. It's not worth the biggest damn temple in the world. It's not worth nothing. Like, I'm just so disgusted with planet Earth at this point that I don't even see a viable path forward. If I go to the council and tell them that, which it's a big possibility I do, then you know what? Just like the Death Star, Earth is helpless. Even if your technology was run rampant for the next 25,000 years of human evolution, you would not even scratch the surface of the ability that I have through just the divine power alone. But when I am counseling with my elect upstairs in the realms that are also ancient, we possess things that humanity hasn't even capitalized. And they could eliminate this planet in mere seconds. All at once. Then I'm gone. The Holy Family's gone, and guess what? It's one of those coulda, woulda, shouldas. There wouldn't be one soul on Earth that would choose the negative outcomes that are going to come, so long as the Earth remains ignorant to me, outside of covenant, and outside of the truth. It's not going to stand, because that's another thing. I mean, this ain't going to happen because I'm going to be speeding everything up, collapsing the time domain, so things just pretty much run right into the next. As soon as one starts slowing down or comes to an end, there's another one greater and bigger to step in its place and continue on. But like right now, like you impious Christians, with Jesus in your mouth and rapture in your eyes and man's doctrine in your ears to keep you comfy at night, I think even more sad. But again, it's not going to happen because I'm going to push the time domain further. But how sad would it be, if you just sat there on this lonely rock waiting and wishing for the Roman fairy tale to show up because you failed to move, you failed to mobilize your own self, you failed to understand things of a divine nature, that humanity is not by nature divine, so you do not understand these things. To understand them, you must have a spirit. When you have that spirit, you must be an active agent for my kingdom. And if you become stagnant, then you become useless. And if you are useless, then you are eliminated. It may not be fair, but that's the way things are, right? Just like it may not be fair that God goes to buy a couch and your beast systems tell me I'm not good enough. Well, guess what? Your God tells the world now, none of you are good enough. Period. And barely any even try. So there's 4 days left.